Welcome everyone, this is Pineleaf Needles, and you're listening to LOTRO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in LOTRO and here at LOTRO Players. And this week we have with us Andy,
Hey, everybody.
Terry Adwin,
Hi, hi.
Erithert,
Hello, everybody.
and Carvet.
At your service and your families.
And now let us head into our game news, where the new servers are being postponed until after Thanksgiving, and some transfers now are open again.
That's right, Pineleaf. It's kind of surprising that it's taken this long, and I'm sure Turbine's the most surprised by it. I'm sure they're not happy at all that it's taken so long. But, hopefully we're getting near the end of this. I mean, they did say that they should be having the new servers after Thanksgiving. Um, I'm glad that they're not just rushing into it and hoping it works. This is definitely the better option. So, the more that they can test on board, the better until some extent. But it's a good thing, I think, that it's going to be pushed back to after Thanksgiving. What is kind of surprising is that they're adding extra of the new servers basically onto their current servers, which sounds like a nightmare in and of itself. And they're actually opening up transfers to and from Brandywine now.
Yeah.
And so that is going on. And also, they are going to be opening up Maiar and Imladris next week. So this coming week. So it'll be interesting to see how all that works, but good that they're able to keep the transfer process going. I was really hoping that when they said they're opening transfers again that I could finally transfer some of my PvP characters from Landerville to another server, but sadly that's not the case yet. So I'm looking forward to when they open up transfers for everything again, but it seems that that's probably going to be some time now still until probably after they get the new server tech, I'm guessing.
Well, yes, because they're not. Yeah, I don't think there's any way they're going to have anything open to leave Landreville until after then.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what's going on. They're going to keep us up to date in the future weeks and let us know when the new servers will actually be coming. So they're kind of close. They just need a little bit more testing.
Yeah, so expect another test. Well, my guess is going to be a week from our recording, because 2 weeks from now is Thanksgiving weekend. There's no way in the world they're going to be
Yeah.
doing a test then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be my guess too.
All right. Well, we'll see how good we are in our prediction, in our usual stellar predictive ability.
Stellar predictive ability.
Yes. Let's go into our store sales.
Our free sample this week, November 13th through the 19th, is 5 Mithril coins. Use coupon code that you can find in the show notes. 1 time per account. Yay! Also 25% off some really cool stuff. The Bjorning class if you don't already have it. Runekeeper class if you don't already have it. Warden class if you don't already have it. Character slots, because everybody needs more character slots. And Slayer Deed accelerators so that you can get more turbine points to recoup your losses. Also special this weekend, you can buy the Steed of the Citadel Guard and get the Steed of Minas Ithil free. I bought this horse today. I did it.
Oh, you did?
I did it this
Despite
morning.
it being only for one character?
Despite it being only for one character. Well, because my main Tariat, yeah, it's really, they don't have an account option, but it's basically justified by it's for Terry Adwin on Landreval, who is the main Terry Adwin that I play, and I think of the ones that I've played, I think she's the only one that's from Gondor and not Rohan. I think all the other ones are from Rohan.
Ah.
So reasons. There you go.
Yeah, so reasons. Because the other ones already have that Rohan horse from the Riders of Rohan pre-order. So she needed more horses.
All right then. I was amazed that you got through that store sale without saying a certain phrase.
I know.
What is
I'm
that
saving
phrase,
it.
finally?
Oh, you're saving it. All right, let's go
Saving it.
into the player news then.
They
What's
just sped that one, man. I'm like,
I
come
was-
on.
I was hoping we'd
Come
be
on.
able to get Pineleaf to say it.
There's
No,
something
okay.
eerie in the room.
Let's
I don't think it was that intro.
let's go into the players' news this week, and this week is being brought to you by.
Bjorning brand hair cream. Because you don't want to be bear, and we can bear with you. So I didn't have anything fun or clever this week. I'm sorry, guys. I totally dropped the ball.
All right, let's go into the player news, and we'll begin with the community events for November 13th through 19th.
Yes, well, Pine Leaf, we have a new community events writer, which is pretty awesome. So,
Ooh.
Rosalie, that's awesome that you're able to be doing this, and she has been already like tracking events in the past, so she's going to be covering them for us here, since she already kind of covers them every week for like her own calendar type stuff. So, pretty cool.
I'm kind
All
of
Um,
right.
shocked how much
Is she
stuff
going to
she has on.
normally do these on Thursday or Friday?
Most likely, which is actually good because that means we can actually talk about the events that are coming up on the show finally. Been meaning to move the community events date for a long time, and so it's finally happening. And so expect to have weekly community events now on the show. So that's kind of cool. And there are actual new like highlighted events that are kind of like showcased on basically the author's choice. And this week there is the Landerville's Veteran Council, which is a Welcome to Landerville event on Saturday, November 14th, which is today.
Today. So it's already
Yeah.
happened and it's over
And
with.
so it already happened, but it looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's another November 14th event, and I should probably have read through this first. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of events in this article, and it'll show what's coming up next.
She
Anything
also
any of you
has
want
at
to
the
point out?
bottom, she also has at the bottom a look back of previous events, and so something that they had again on Langeval was they celebrated a community member who passed away.
Are you on air?
So yeah, Lily Kate did a great job, but obviously is overwhelmed. So it's great to have somebody else to pick up and just sort of hit the ground running. I was really
Yeah,
surprised.
it was really good. And I did want to point out that Winter Stock is actually going to be returning for its third year in January on the 15th through the 18th. And so that is exciting. Lonely Mountain Band is once again hosting that event.
And actually not on this list, but upcoming for next week. Keep your eyes peeled for the community calendar because there is a event in the works for Saranen for what happened yesterday. It's all over Twitter. I don't want to get into it a whole lot.
Okay.
It's
All right. Then let's head into Tales of the Free Folk, Episode 5, Imperial Orc Nerds.
yes, we survived through another episode of Tales of the Free Folk.
That is how you take care of the orc engineers.
Yeah.
Sup. You take
I don't
away the
actually really
glasses,
remember what
and
happened
you
other than
remove the batteries from their calculators, and you snap their suspenders. Boom.
Actually,
Dwarven
this one
wedgies
is
all
notable for the awkward moment of Aerthir introducing himself in character to his girlfriend Becca's character, who guested on our show this past week, and it was
Yes, it was
hilarious.
It was hilarious.
It's
It was really good.
hilarious.
It was really good.
I seriously almost fell out of my chair. I was laughing so hard.
Oh,
It was
man.
really funny.
Like it's really good that I'm not on camera for this episode because I seriously almost fell out of my chair.
Yeah, I think the reason you don't remember Terry is because your character was drunk almost the entire time.
I was. I got drunk really early. Passed out.
She's talking in the first person and not about her character. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Drag out of the
And
fire.
was this the episode where she became more aerodynamic, or was that a different episode?
No, that was
This
this episode.
Okay.
That was-
Yeah, this was a good one.
Yeah,
She's a
I
drunken
had the one
championship
episode
master.
of yeah.
Yeah, I think that honestly, this is probably my favorite episode because of the things we've mentioned so far. It was really good.
Terry's
And,
more aerodynamic and fights better when drunk.
Yeah.
In this, yeah.
And that's the way it was.
Okay.
I legitimately thought you were gonna say, and that's the way the cookie crumbles, carve.
And what are you looking forward to towards the end of LOTRO?
Never ending.
I'm not. Yeah, like
This is the game that doesn't end.
Well, I think that this
Screws up
was
my plan.
more a question of like not Lotro shutting down, but more the end of the Return of the King lore-wise, because he does clarify in the actual article that he says, since we're near the end of Return of the King, what would you most be looking forward towards the end of Return of the King in Lotro? So he's actually asking what we'd be interested at the end of the Return of the King in Lotro.
Yeah, I hope at least one person said Sheila Braid.
Um,
Yes, at least one person said Sheila
I'm
Braid. There was a
sure at
lot
least
of
one person did.
scouring of the Shire.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm hoping for Scouring of the Shire.
Especially after seeing how they've handled Minas Tirith with this most recent update, I think they really could actually pull off doing the whole Shire
yes,
as a
and it
whole
would be
nother
awesome.
phase. And that would be super awesome.
Wow, really? The whole Shire jacked
The
up like
Shire's not
that?
that big.
Well, I
Actually,
mean,
Minas Tirith is probably bigger than the Shire.
No,
Well, I
no.
mean, I could see that.
No,
I
but
mean,
it's close.
maybe not the entire Shire, but there's certain key points that definitely should be
Okay,
heavily altered
If you
for the
included
sake of the scouring.
if you included the whole Pelennor Fields, it would be pretty close to the size of the Shire, actually, in Lotro's terms.
True, but Pelennor has a lot of flat open spaces with orc camps on it. I would think that the Shire has a lot more detail just over the entire
Well, the
course of it.
Shire has a lot of trees and flat open space and hills, and then a few
I mean,
towns here
thinking
and
of
there.
it like considering from like if you're thinking just like Mickle delving to Stock, yeah, but you also think from like Needlehall all the way down to like where the waterfall is.
But
Like that's
well,
it's not it's pretty big sized.
yeah.
I
Well, I
would
mean, the
like to
thing
get
is,
the rest
the
of the
scouring
Shire.
didn't take place over the whole Shire exactly, did it?
Yeah, it did.
well,
It
you
was
would
mostly around Hobbiton and the areas around that.
Yeah, it was
the
mostly the southern bits. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
far north that
the main
Yeah.
went.
areas that would be important would be anywhere up to Waymeet. Yeah, you have to go include Waymeet and of course Mickle Delving,
Yep.
and of course
And
the Hobbiton Bywater area, Stock, and all that stuff.
Brandywine Bridge.
Cookland has to be there, obviously.
But I mean,
Yeah, so
even
it's
still, that's not that much. I mean, I think that they could do that. I mean, even if it is more than Mysteria, that wouldn't be too much more, I don't think. So.
You know, I'm having this picture in my mind of people like Made of Lions and some of the other devs listening to this podcast going, he just said it's not that much.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm sure they are.
like the
And,
next
you know,
6 years of their lives. Yeah.
All right,
Hey,
let me get out my notepad. I remember that guy.
they already have the scouring version of Tuckborough built.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah. I think they could do. I mean, even if honestly, even if it was just like Bywater and Hobbiton, I'd be fine with it. It'd be cool. But you know, if they were able to do the whole Shire, that would be just
I would love
amazing.
for them to fill in the rest of the Shire so that we could see stuff in the South Farthing.
Yeah, that too.
Like
That'd
Lily
be
Kate
really
put
cool.
in, they could do a whole scouring region in the South Farthing and not even have to change the existing Shire.
They could add a
Oh,
ton of
necessarily.
regions
there
just
you go.
throughout Lotro, to be honest. I mean, especially
mean-
in Eriador, there's a lot of open space they could add stuff in.
I would like to see like definitely the Scouring of the Shire. I would like to see the like it'd be cool to see Harad.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely want to like to see like the battle before the Black Gate. That would be awesome. And like
Yeah.
that whole ride and march and stuff. That'd probably be a session play, the march there. But like to see that would be awesome. And like the coronation and stuff afterwards would be cool. Like a totally decked out,
Mhm.
glorious
Oh,
Minas
yeah.
Tirith. That would be
For
awesome.
sure. For sure,
Spoilers:
for
there's a
sure.
coronation. I wonder who that could be.
It's that guy with the
That one
person
guy.
It's that
and
guy
Pippin.
Yeah, you know,
thing.
the
The Prince
dude.
of the Halflings gets an upgrade.
That's right. It's that guy.
But
Don't
If-
tell Maven.
if
Pippin
they
will
actually
so
did
mad.
go down to Harad, depending on how much they actually wanted to cover, Harad is huge. It's way bigger
Oh,
than
yeah.
Gondor, and so they could actually have multiple years of just updates in Harad if they really wanted to. So
It would be kind of cool to see if we get into Mordor itself. Like
I think we will.
after
Well-
what's his
I've
face?
always
It doesn't
wanted
have
to
to be
see
after.
the Harad Waith as
You
well
know,
as the.
we have to- We have to go into Mordor because the minstrel epic vision is at Kirith Ungol.
That's true.
I mean, there's absolutely no other place in the world that vision could be from.
Mild Minas Tirith spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm not there yet on my minstrel.
And so you can cover your ears if you don't want to hear this, Aerithard, and everybody else on this call. But there is
Your ears doesn't work.
there is a part that is in a place in Mordor in the story. in this current version. So just throwing that out there. And so I really do think that we will be going to Mordor at some point in full. And I mean, like Pineleaf has said before, there is all those slaves that get freed down in southern Mordor.
See,
And
I'd like to see the shore of the Nirn.
oh yeah,
I
there's
like the
actual
Nirn
like
of the
luscious
slaves.
land in Mordor where they
Uh,
have to grow all the
Since I
food for
doubt
the orcs.
Mordor is going to be, since I doubt they're going to be doing like the Jacksonian collapse of Mordor after the ring is destroyed,
don't-
it's totally feasible that we can go to Mordor.
I don't think
Yeah.
lush is the way to describe anything in Mordor.
See, I was thinking that
Actually, in
the
Nirn, it
shores
is.
of Nirn is probably more like what they've got in Agmar, with the little bits of kind of busted
Yeah.
up barren farmlands
I
outside of
don't
certain
think
It
it's
places.
probably
lush.
is, but they have to grow enough food for, 100,000 orcs or however much it is.
Yeah,
Take 23, The Legend
like
of Nirn.
you can grow some pretty decent sized wheat crops and some busted up looking terrain.
You can, but I mean, volcanic ash does create very lush, nutritious soil for stuff to grow.
And it still looks butt ugly because it's Mordor. I
And
mean, let's
yes.
just be
Yeah.
real. It's
All right.
not like the amber waves of grain. It's more like the ashen waves of waste.
Nicely done.
Ashen waste.
I'm pretty sure in the books at some point it describes that part of Mordor being actually not like the rest, so whatever.
It's
Yeah.
only mostly barren.
It's mostly dead. Yeah, okay.
No.
Right.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
Gorthrog is not a place where you want to go, but Nirn is a reasonable place.
Yeah.
And we still have to have our Shelob raid.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
Has
Or
to happen.
actually, maybe a Shelob skirmish.
Shelob skirmish raid. That's really fluff and hard.
Well,
See,
right.
Well,
Let's
the
go
only
to
person
small-
that could solo the Shelob raid would be the bear. That stupid, overpowered bears.
It wouldn't even be there though. I don't know. Unless there were
All
bear
right.
bears.
Let's go to Small Lotro Adventures, episode 33, where Lily Kate gets a new headset.
Yes.
That's
Yay.
good news.
Because we've all missed Small Otro Adventures. It's
Right,
awesome.
because we're wondering what happened to it. Ah, yes. But yes, they are back and
Back with
trying
a bang
to...
with like 3 episodes.
4.
Yeah.
4, yeah.
Yeah. They had to cover 4 episodes, which is a lot of stuff to cover.
Yes,
It's a lot of bingo.
It is a lot of bingo.
a
It's like a binge on
lot of
bingo.
bingo.
It's like a bingo bidge. Bingo boffin bidge.
Right.
Beautiful.
And then after that, we have Lotro video highlights, the Tower of Orthanc.
Yes, this is another one of those videos where they put lines from movies and tie it in with raids and put epic music to it. And this one is taking place in Orthanc, and it is really cool.
Sweet.
Particularly when like he does like that pointing in the circle and like points to everyone all around, and it's just like
Yeah,
this
that was
huge
pretty
epic
cool.
moment. Really cool. If you enjoy raiding at all, I think you'll enjoy this. It really portrays just how epic the Tower of Orthanc instances are.
Mind if I jump across another Lord of the Rings related epic video I saw today? It's not this one, but it's a different one. Sean Astin's in it, and it's dwarves and elves having a dance battle in a bar. That's all I have to say.
What?
Yeah, I'm totally gonna link it to the show notes.
That
It's
sounds awesome.
hilarious. Yeah,
Okay.
I was rolling.
Well, Carve, I suppose that this is a decent time for me to mention that after Lotra Video Highlights ends, because I'm getting close to the end, it's been going for like 2 years, and I've already done like almost 100 videos. By the time it ends, I will have 100 video highlights that I would have covered.
That's
Exactly. And so nobody else sent me another video highlight because I want to end on 100 exactly.
Okay.
So after video highlights over, I'm thinking about doing, and I haven't for sure set on the name, but I'm thinking about doing basically a general like Tolkien video highlights where I'll be highlighting all sorts of like parody videos and
Where
other
you'll be
stuff.
talking about different things.
Yeah.
Get on bunch.
Thank you, Arthur. So
What are you
that's gonna be
talking about,
happening.
Arthur?
Yeah, and Barnabas in the chat points out that somehow all the videos are in the top 10.
Ending just has a lot of love to give for the video.
I am going to do a top 25 video. I won't be able to decide down to the top 10, but I'm gonna do a top 25 article at the end. So look forward to that.
That'll be cool.
It'll be by the time the whole thing is over, he'll be up to his. But yeah, I'm bringing it down to the top 99 videos.
No.
Top 99.
I am trying to limit. The problem is that there's so many good ones and it's such subjective. I really can't. There's 25 videos that I just cannot get any lower than that. It's really tough to decide. I've never realized how tough these kind of lists actually are
Well,
to figure
that's
out.
what a top 10 list is supposed to be for tough decisions.
I know.
And then it helps you like really kind of whittle down the best because you just have a lot of fun watching and you're like, oh, I remember that one. Oh, I remember that one. Oh, this is a great one too. Oh my gosh, I forgot
Well,
about
part of
this.
the problem with like the LOTRO top 10 is it's not like say like, you know, the top like 6 Star Wars movies or something like that. It's like the top 25 of these videos that are totally different because there's like, you know, role play videos, there's rating videos, there's trailers, there's you know, all this kind of stuff. And so it's like comparing several different media types. It's like comparing like books, movies, and games all together. Like it's very tough, and so that's kind of
Wait,
why I
isn't
had
that
to
exactly
keep it that
what
high.
we do with the skirmish?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's only one at once. This is like all of Middle Earth's videos all at once. It's very tough.
So whenever Ending begins compiling that, we'll probably hear things like, I can't decide.
All right. Then if you have a top 25, what order are you going to put them in?
Well, that is what you're gonna have to wait and find out. But remember, I did do a top 15 when I reached the 1 year mark, and that list, just figuring out which ones I wanted in the top 15 from the 50 I had done, literally took me over 10 hours to decide. So I'm not joking when it takes a long time to decide this kind of stuff. So, anyway.
He just likes them all so much.
All right.
I understand.
So what you should do, Andang, is do a top 10 and then do like 10.1.
Well, and one thing you have to keep
10.2.
in mind is it's not like I'm just like every LOTRO video I run across I'm putting in the highlight series. I've cut out at least 500 different videos that I've seen of LOTRO down to just this 100. And so, you know, it's really tough to decide.
You know what you
because
should do?
I think they're all great.
You know what you should do? You know how there's like like update 16.2, 16.1, 16? You should have like one video for every update. Not necessarily that matches it, but just however, like count those number of updates. So instead of having your top 25, just do like your LOTRO highlight celebration thing. And then like video number 17, video number 16.2, video number 16.1, 16, and go down the list that way.
That sounds really complicated. I think it's time to move on.
Well, I mean, if you do that, though, you kind of miss
Let's
out
go
on
to
a
the
lot of
family
good
line,
ones.
part 67, in Fanson's words.
There you go. I feel bad. I haven't read these in a while, and I need to get caught up. I
Yeah.
have to like steal my kid's tablet and curl up on the couch and say, "Don't talk to me. I'm reading."
But it's my
Or read it
tablet.
to them.
Yeah, I know. Should be like, but I want my tablet back. Too bad.
Too bad.
My house, my internet, my rules.
I'm reading the family line. Leave me alone.
I'm reading
Wanna
the
talk about
family line, so forget
you
the
are part of
family.
my family line, and I'm the dad. So
Anybody who's watched Carve Stream on Saturdays knows that carries zero weight in his house.
it
Okay,
does too.
I would just like to say, if you're not watching Carve stream on Saturday mornings, it's almost enough for me to wake up at 7 in the morning on a Saturday to watch. Like on some,
Yeah,
on
it
some weeks I have
seriously
them.
is. It's like,
Right.
oh
It's
yeah,
worth it.
Carve is streaming. I need to be up.
And then here comes my kid.
Because the best part is the little glimpses we get into the Carve household.
Yeah, we had some interesting glimpses the other day. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right, let's head into another Lily Kate post. Lily Kate sings Royals by Lord.
And we live in the Shire.
I was disappointed because she doesn't actually sing.
I know.
Her
Did-
character does, though.
Her character
was-
does.
I
But
was
Lily Kate
basically-
doesn't.
I was basically
Yeah, but it's
This was
not the
awesome.
real life Lillykate because that would be a different name. It's Lillykate sings.
As opposed to Lillykate Buggin sings.
Right.
So Royals has actually got different lyrics to it
Yeah,
in
it's
in the video.
hysterical.
Yeah.
It's really
So
funny.
that's
It's
fantastic.
awesome. Yes,
I'm
like
having
Yeah, it
so
was
much
great.
fun.
I want to
It's like
memorize this actually and sing it as a part of my everyday life.
see, and because there's so much fun to be had doing like Lotro inspired parody videos. I mean,
Like
there
what?
is. Earlier we were talking about instead of like it was it Salt and Pepper Push It?
Yeah.
It was Pull It as a tanking aggro video. Pull it. Damn, damn it, damn,
We
damn, you
really
know.
do need to get like a compilation of songs
Yeah, you
and
know.
just have like somebody really do like, get the karaoke music that goes with all these songs, just the raw core edit of it
Well,
and
hey,
put our lyrics to it. So I think
yeah,
that'd be cool.
I totally enlisted Mrs. Carve, so there's some smooth stylings of chilling rhetoric to
Did
come.
you see the picture I sent you, Carve?
Yes, I did.
The real life chilling rhetoric. I just saw him
Yeah,
singing it,
yeah,
and I was like, oh, took a picture of chilling rhetoric. I was like, that's
that's
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
I ran across that guy in the moors this week.
Yep.
Right. Let's head to the House of Bjorn, Chapter 13, An Unexpected Parting. Now that's a play on words.
I Okay, so the cool part about like the House of Bjorn things is that it's by one of my kinmates, and he'll often feature some other of my kinmates, and this one was Mordred Circanale and Winiel, and it's like they're always she plays an elf and he plays a dwarf, and they full on go elf versus dwarf, picking at each other back and forth constantly in kin chat, and it's the best thing ever. Um, and he absolutely nails it. Like with the bantering back and forth is awesome. Like as we know, the only reason orcs and goblins run away when they see you is because of your smell to the dwarf. Stuff like that. It's great. It's great.
That's awesome.
Also story, but
Ouch.
bantering. Yeah, it's awesome. Like and it's funny because that stuff happens anyways, like in real life.
That was such a delayed ouch. That was great.
It was dramatic pause for effect.
It's like it had to sink in. It was good.
All right. Let's head into Poems of the Pine, the Ashen Waste for Book 12 of the Epic Storyline. We return to the city on the south of the lake to look for the place where Laredin was held. We learned he was moved to the land of dread, so to Angmar we went into the Ashen Wastes. We stole the gate key that was kept by a troll, then rescued Laredin, who languished in a cell. We learned of the ring and raided its home, but only half was stored in the stash of the keep. The ring had been split to spite our foes, so our quest we cannot quit. To Forhell we go into the frozen wastes to find a trace of the terrible ring.
It's awesome.
So the title of the Ashen Wastes got me thinking, what if they built Mordor to scale and there were those huge plains that you could go through on like a war steed? That'd be really cool.
Now that
After
would
the
really be
fact.
the Ashen Wastes.
Yeah.
Or ashen wastes of grain, Agmaria. No, wait, wrong place. Sorry.
I think we wrote finally.
I was saying that was bad. I know. It was bad.
Let's head into our week in Lotro, please.
That was like haunted pine leaves, man.
Save us, please.
All right, let's begin with ending.
Yes, well, I helped Bingo find a terrible peer to review his manuscript. Although I did not expect it to be a terrible peer going into it, in my defense.
It wasn't that bad. He just wasn't very
Bingo
specific.
thought it was.
Well, yeah,
Well,
but
Bingo doesn't have a whole lot of sense. If you've not learned this already,
This is true.
he's not the smartest
Does he have
hobbit.
any sense?
He's like, I've not done enough adventuring. You go out and kill things,
yes.
and then I'll write about it.
Like, I think he forgot to take, like, the, stop at Tuckborough where you like, get slightly off the road to get Hobbit sense. He has not gotten that skill yet. He's still
Right.
just like off doing whatever. So
And
hopefully
he
he will.
left Willem Whisker behind. Rude.
Well, no, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He's still at the
No.
gates with the guards.
He is, but if you look in the Hall of Fire, he's in there.
He wasn't there when I played.
He was.
Like I looked for me. I was like, wait, he's not here.
No,
Yeah,
he is.
yeah,
I promise you.
He's there.
He's there. You just like, is he hidden there or something? You
He's
gotta, like,
way,
Well,
way
he's a
as close as you
lynx,
can get to the
so-
fire.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Willem Whisker can teleport. You guys
Well,
And they
he's
did
a
say that that
lynx,
is a glitch in the
so-
forums, so.
don't get anywhere near him. He can teleport. He's a lynx. He's super sneaky. He'll
Teleporting
eat your
lynx.
face.
Well, lynxes are sneaky. That's what they are.
They're sneaky.
Yeah.
So,
Where
anyway.
links.
I also went to Forgel with Pineleaf to do a lot of bingo boffin leveling and made it to 42 and a half, so that's pretty cool. And getting ready
Nice.
for this next week as we make our way to other places in Middle-earth, so should be interesting to see what happens.
So at 42 and 4 hell, that would have put you like what, orange red questing?
Yeah, but we had 3 people, so it was
Okay,
fine.
so that wasn't too bad then. That's cool.
But
Yeah.
honestly, those quests are not that hard.
And we actually
Yeah,
had
as
4
long
people
as-
at one point.
As long as you're not dealing with that
He's
beastie.
got Dang Song, who is a mini, so
And we had Pineleaf, who's a lore master, so we were good on DPS.
yeah.
Plus, we had another minstrel
I mean, the
and a
only
Beorning.
thing more overpowered than a mini is one of those bears.
And we had one of those bears, so
You had one of the bears. See? Down
Yeah.
with bears.
It was gonna come eventually.
up with bears. So I also finished Minas Tirith, which actually was quite a feat because I only played like about an hour before this weekend and completed the rest of it this weekend, which was like 13 hours worth.
Yeah.
So
LOTRO.
I had a lot of LOTRO time this week. I tried to create Ninja Turtles by taking a bunch of adventurous children into the Minas Tirith sewer.
That was awesome.
So that was fun.
It was awful.
It was awesome. I did that quest.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm responsible for releasing these children into danger.
It's
What
awesome.
kind of
Buying
responsible
alcohol
adult
for
am
them.
I?
I'm buying
Yeah.
alcohol for children. I'm showing them how to get super dangerous places. I'm teaching them how to steal things that may or may not be theirs. Like I'm corrupting the children of Minas Tirith.
The worst part was when I was doing it, there were other people that were also in that area of Minas Tirith, and they were like not paying attention to where the kids were, so they would leave them behind. So I was passing kids that were that other people were responsible
I
for
did
and had
that a
just been
lot.
left behind, and it's like, really?
I left a lot of
The
kids behind.
delinquency of Minas teenagers. I love it.
I kind of was happy when I lost a couple of them. Not the whole group. I never lost the big group, like the conglomeration of children. But there was like a couple times when there was like the one kid and she got lost, and I was like, yes, quick hide.
Quick.
And
Mean.
you do eventually go back to the sewer, and it gets really annoying. But I won't give any spoilers. But it's really annoying. I didn't like the side quest this time. I've figured out. It wasn't. I felt that they were way below what they've done in the past, and I think they could have been much better. But it was all made good because I finished the epic story for this update.
Haha.
And Volume 4 was not my favorite volume. It was pretty close. It's pretty close to Volume 1, but it wasn't my favorite. It's now my favorite. The
Right?
ending to this part of the epic is amazing. It took my breath
epic.
away. I literally, when I was doing the recording, couldn't speak for like 2 minutes. I can't. I mean, I was like, but what? And so I don't want to get people's hopes up too high, so don't pay attention to what I just said. But if you've gone through it, you know what I'm
Please
talking
ignore
about.
the man on the microphone.
See, for me, there was a particular instance, a matter of lineage. That instance was like that for me. Like it was like, oh my gosh. Made of Lions is a beast.
It gets even better
Yeah.
from there, Aerithert.
See, I
mean-
didn't think so. I didn't
Aerithert
actually.
spent the latter half of the epic going, what? What?
Yeah,
What?
All right. So let's go to Aerithert on stuff not related to Volume 4.
so yeah, I skirmed with Carve, and B earnings are crazy, and I'll let him tell you about it. And I got level 60 on my Minstrel and my Hunter both. That's it.
Nice.
All right, Carv?
Yeah, so I skirmed with Aerithert. The earnings are comfortable in hairy situations.
Ouch.
And that happened to be, in this case, a three-man Trouble in Tuckborough skirmish, two-manned by one guy who was a Bearning, who was 3 levels under. But apparently it didn't bother me too much, because when Aerithert died on the final bosses, I just basically kited around throwing bees on the bad guys.
See? Down
And I
with bears.
survived. Well, I barely survived. And I wasn't
Nerf the bears.
I barely survived. But I
Nerf
did it.
the
It was
bear.
fun to watch. Me running around the courtyard going, yeah, I can take this cream puff. No, not really. No, dying. So that happened. And then we got out of Moria finally on our Tuesday group. We're starting to do Mirkwood and causing general mischief amongst the orc population there. And then I found out on my minstrel stream this morning on Saturdays that if you accidentally click a 30-minute Slayer Deed accelerator thinking it's a Tome of Defense, you might as well just go ahead and run with it and get your most out of it. So in 30 minutes, a relatively on-level minstrel can clear the first 2 Slayer Deeds in Hold, and I wrote it down here, Hoth Ilyarch in the Bear Downs. So that was cool. That's what I've been doing. Terry Adwin, how about you?
Well, I managed to get not one but 2 characters the heck out of Moria. Because Sarissa the Berg is in the Tuesday group, and Moria, bye Moria, we did Mirkwood. And my
Did you
challenge
leave
mini,
at level?
yeah,
Yeah.
we were capped. This is the group that we're capped with.
Right. Well, I meant for
Except
your
for
second character.
my second character is the same range. My challenge mini, this is my challenge mini. That she's the minstrel that I'm running with no LIs. Is out of Moria. She's in Mirkwood at level 61. Did not finish the Moria epic. I got through the skirmishes and said, see ya, and went to Mirkwood. So I have 2 characters running around Mirkwood right now. And celebrated by making a new outfit for the mini, which I posted on Twitter. It's a Red Riding Hood inspired look that I've been looking forward to doing ever since I picked up the apple basket during the fall festival, because I really, really, really wanted something that looked like Red Riding Hood, so it was awesome. And then I successfully led the Academy field trip through the Redhorn Lodes in Moria. So the character that's still in Moria, which is my Arkenstone Terry, yeah, we nobody died and we didn't get lost. It was pretty awesome.
That's good. Nobody died.
Nobody. Well, it's Redhorn Lodes, and there were 6 of us, so
Yeah, it's hard for anyone to get killed.
it's
in
hard
those
for any,
ships.
and of course that group has a bear, so
And bears are awesome.
and bears are OP. And then my hunter Alistriel is questing Western Rohan. Forgot how much I love the story in Western Rohan. She's working on doing all of the zone quests because I want all the little trait points. Today she achieved kindred with the Orlingus, and she is up to level 92, which
Yeah.
shocked the heck out of me when she finally dinged 90, because I thought it was never going to happen. She's been stuck at 87 for forever. And now it's 2 levels later. She still has... I don't understand why you have to be level 95 to get your guide to Aldberg as a hunter, because the earlier half of Western Rohan is like level 85. So like level 90 would have been better. But so I still have 3 more levels to go before I can get the stupid guide.
Yeah, that is a bit weird.
Yeah. So, you know, for the LOTRO devs who listen to our show, because we know that there are some, when you get done with all of the other stuff that you're doing, or have a minute to look at that, that level could maybe be adjusted a little bit.
Oh, when
Well,
you do
isn't
the
that
hunters,
because
remember the wardens also.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I mean,
wardens
isn't it
too.
because like Aldberg in as far as Western Rohan, when you're talking about Helm's Deep and whatnot, Aldberg is kind of like the other crafting hub since Helm's Deep doesn't really have that much and it's got all that weird instancing anyway.
Not really, because they were pretty good with Western Rohan. There's crafting everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, kind
just
of literally
Aldberg is kind
everywhere.
of where
It's in
the guild stuff
Aldberg
is.
is like the first major city that you get to before you hit Edoras.
Yeah, Letters is
I don't know why you can't just get a guide to Edoras, but I guess it's because Aldberg doesn't get deserted. Maybe I don't know.
yeah. Edoras gets emptied. I went back there the other day to find something and I was like, ah, there's nobody here, derp, because the story's gone. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but there's
Now
still
done
folks
gone.
left behind in Aldberg because it's all fortified behind a wall. And I don't know. I guess they're hoping that the orcs aren't gonna bring fire with them or something.
Sure.
Pine Leaf, how was your week?
All right. Well, I'll begin with my formerly Nimmerdale warden. My warden on Nimmerdale transferred over to Brandywine, and to celebrate this, I finally got around to finishing Volume 2 on that character, and I also ran the start of Volume 3, so now I have all of the skirmishes unlocked on that character.
Marvelous.
And also, during Bingo Boffin this week, I determined that you cannot complete a certain part of the latest quest without running a certain skirmish. By running a certain skirmish.
By running a certain
Yeah, by
skirmish,
running
which
that
makes
skirmish.
sense
Now that
because the skirmish is Fort of Bruinen, and the quest specifically tells you the High Moor. The Fort of Bruinen is not the High Moor. It's not the same zone.
There needs to be a high more skirmish.
well, actually, it also actually it's the Slayer part is not the one that is impossible to do because if the giants do count because they're part of Giant Valley. And they count as Giant Valley giants, which is why you were able to complete the Giant Valley quest.
Oh,
In,
you can't take a description while you're in the middle of combat. Well, that sort of makes sense.
well, even if you're not in combat, you still can't
I
take
know, but
it.
it sort of makes sense.
Yeah. So therefore, I guess because the description is different because Bingo wasn't there when you had all those siege towers there.
Right. I
Pineleaf is
don't.
probably the only person who tried to do that
I
in that
think
skirmish.
so.
Pro-
He's like,
because
I don't have to travel to the
I
Fort of
had to
Rudin.
test it.
Yeah, if it was anything skirmish related, you know he had to test it.
Right.
Oh, this is skirmish.
I
Huh?
wonder if we
I've
can
got a
simply
problem.
walk into Mordor by just going into XYZ skirmish.
Oh well. And on my Bjorning series, on my Bjorning there, I've gained my War Steed.
Woot.
so
That's
And
now
like the
the
you're
30th
what
time. We can't get too
five
excited, Pine
times
Leaf.
more overpowered on the Bjorning now that you have a
No, no, no,
warhorse.
no, 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 no.
no,
What
I
kind of
know it.
cool things
It's
does the
like
learning speed do?
I think the War Steed reduces the power of Bjorning.
I think you're right.
Well, Bjornings have no power really.
But I mean, a bear
Well,
riding on a
it
horse is
forces
pretty
them to
hard.
have power.
I see what she did
Oh, it
there.
does?
Yeah, yeah. On a War Steed, a Bjorning
Well,
has to worry
because your
about the
war
power
steed
of
has
the
to have
horse.
power.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, you have to worry about power. Suddenly you go through
Because
the entire game not worrying about
clearly,
power, and suddenly,
clearly bears don't need power, but when horses come along, oh man,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
totally different.
totally
Changes
different.
everything.
All right, and let's then head into news beyond Lotro. And we had a 40-minute Tolkien interview from 1965. That's a couple of years ago. That's 50 years ago.
Yeah, just a few. So yes, we actually had from Andrew suggested that we should put this interview on LOTRO Players, and I'm glad he did because this is possibly one of the best interviews that I've heard of Tolkien. I mean, he is freely talking about stuff, and the interviewer is actually basically, really into Lord of the Rings, you can tell. And so he asks a lot of questions that I think a lot of people would ask. It's not just like the simple like, are you like a Hobbit Tolkien type thing, but it's more in depth. It really goes into really interesting questions. So if you're interested in learning a bit more about what Tolkien thought about the Lord of the Rings and the things around the Lord of the Rings and kind of his sub creation and all that stuff, then listen to this interview. It's really good.
Cool.
All right, then let's head into our skirmish of the week. And the question this week is, what are the pros and cons of Gimli?
That's right. So let's go ahead and go into the pros of the books.
All right, so well, the pros of the books. No one actually took that. The person who took
Well-
it is currently on sabbatical.
I'm gonna tell her that you called her no one. I'm typing it in Skype right now.
Well, no one present.
um, but in the books, I think that the biggest pro is that he's not like the films.
Wow.
Ouch, yes.
No, I mean, more specifically, I think that it's good that he's not just the comic relief of the books. I think that it's really nice how he's a really fleshed out character, and he is a dwarf that is being written from the point of view of a hobbit, but it's still pretty good, and he's a cool character.
One of the
And
things I like, yeah, one of the things I like from the book is the whole part when he's talking about the glittering caves,
yeah,
and it sort of shatters the whole myth of dwarf, like the stereotype of, and it, like you can tell like Liz thinks this stereotype until this happens, of like elves care about the earth and the dwarves don't, and like it's totally shatters that, and Gimli's like, no, this is awesome, and you're totally wrong, we wouldn't like exploit this, we would spend days taking one flake of rock out to make it slightly more beautiful. Like that whole bit is one of my favorite parts of Gimli in the books. It shows like how different of a character he is, and that like that's representative of dwarves in general. Like he is the representative of his race, so like that's not out of the ordinary either. Like dwarves can love too.
and also the relationship he has with Galadriel is pretty cool in the books, and it actually works an elven and dwarven, not relationship, but just kind of like a cool thing that they have. And
The
so
cool thing that they have.
Well, I mean, it shows you,
Oh,
you know,
boy.
the depth
Oh,
of
poor
Gimli's
Celeborn.
character and how much he really, respects and admires her.
yeah,
And also in reverse, because part of what makes that so shocking is that I think it was Feanor, like way back in the first stage, asked her for her hair so he could put it in a jewel, like exact same thing as Gimli, and she was like, "No, you creep."
Yep.
And like the fact that she does that for Gimli is like that's why everyone is so astounded, because she turned down Feanor for the exact same thing, and she's like, "Sure, random dwarf." So it's
Well, I
kind of,
think it was not just random dwarf. It was
yeah,
dwarf who had the um,
chutzpah.
wherewithal, not only the chutzpah, but just the idea that he was like so in awe and like genuine, like just he was genuine. That's what I'm trying to spit
Yeah.
out. He was very genuine in his admiration of Galadriel. It wasn't like, "Hey, I'm pretty. You're kind of pretty. I'd like to have your pretty match my pretty." Like Feanor was saying, it was Gimli legitimately like, I've never seen anything like you before ever, and I'm not trying to be like a flirt. It's you are.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but I'm a dwarfin. Can I have your hair, maybe?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then when he
And
talks about, yeah, go ahead.
actually, this particular item you're talking about concerning the Feanor versus Gimli is an important factor in a play put on Laurelin a couple of years back by the Shades. That was called Lady of the Golden Wood. And earlier on in it is Feanor asking for it, and of course near the end of it is Gimli asking the same favor.
did Gimli actually get the hairs in their version?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It is cool because it also like that relationship, and Gimli is like just like Frodo is kind of a means for Galadriel's salvation is the wrong word, but like her yeah, salvation. Redemption, there you go. Like he's just like Frodo is kind of a part of her redemption. Gimli is also a part of that same redemption story, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And that totally is lost in the movie. He's just like kind of like stares and open mouthed, except you can't see his mouth because of his beard.
In the extended version, it's a little bit more
It's a little-
like the books, but it's still not to the same effect.
Do you have any cons
All
for the
right,
books?
so let's go to the films.
You don't have any cons, finally?
Well, actually, Aerithart was the con. Did he do anything? Did he do his
No,
con?
finally, is a con for the.
Yeah, Pineleaf's cons for books.
I'm looking at the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
well,
My bad.
yeah, someone put me there, and I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
I
Because
should
anyway.
you
not
have
put my
to be
name
in a
there.
spot. Because you have to be in a spot. You can't abstain. You have to
Well,
be
with
one.
May being gone, he could have gone for pro, but whatever. Anyway,
I will say one con of Gimli in the book is how he just like in the battle for Helm's Deep when Aragorn and what's his face?
Legolas?
No, Éomer and Aragorn like jump down and they're fighting people in front of the gate, and he literally just goes and sits on a rock and watches them fight, just because he figures they've got it or something. But like that's like, dude, what are you doing? Help your friends. You can't
Well,
hit their necks, but hit their knees or something. I don't know.
actually, I
Yeah.
thought he did come in
No, he just sat there on a rock and watched them until like there
at
was
the
a couple of horses.
beginning, but
Yeah.
he did come and save them later on.
Yeah, but he literally just sat there on a rock and enjoyed the sword play, which I find hysterical. And if I was them, I'd be like, dude, thanks for saving me, but we could have used the help earlier. But glad you enjoyed the show.
Yeah, they kind of mentioned that in the game too. That very same thing you're talking about, where he's like, they were kind of a bit big for me, so I just let the big folk have it. But I'm glad I stuck around because it was good entertainment. But also he did get to jump in there and save them when things got crazy. Because dwarves.
All right. So, what are the pros for the film? Corvette.
The pros for the film. Okay, now I like the way the film portrays Gimli. Yes, he does have that kind of sidekick comic relief role aspect, but the way John Rhys Davis plays Gimli gives him kind of a like almost a jolliness that the party needs. Everybody else is
Yeah.
kind of stuck up. Aragorn has got his huge the burdens of kingly duty, and Legolas is an elf.
Yeah.
Physics, yeah, a physics defying elf, I might add. But and then of course you've got the silliness of the hobbits, but Gimli brings, dare I even say it, like a little bit more mature humor.
Yeah.
But he also has a nice counterbalance to some of the like other like quote unquote manly role types you get from like the Rohirrim and whatnot. One of the scenes that comes to mind right now is how Gimli and Legolas are having that drinking game after the Rohirrim have beat Helm's Deep, and they're all just kind of hanging out. And of course, Gimli passes out because the elf can't feel it. But Gimli kind of has this character that fits better. It fills a niche in the party that keeps it from getting too serious, even though it is a very serious thing they're doing. It's not all doom and gloom, and I really like how they played that in the movie.
Yeah.
All
I think
right.
if anyone else played Gimli, it would not have worked.
Yeah, John Rhys Davis is just a phenomenal actor in just about anything I've ever seen him do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Aerithart, do you have any cons?
Yeah, I think with him being the comic relief, sometimes they took it a little too far, and that's like my main thing with the movies is that he is almost purely the comic relief, like the dwarf tossing and the drinking game, and we dwarves are natural sprinters as he like falls flat on his face after jumping off a rock. Like it's a little bit ridiculous sometimes the extent that they go to make him be the comic relief. But like, yeah, I love him in the movies. Like, don't get me wrong, he's awesome, and John Rhys Davis is absolute beast at it. But I feel like sometimes they sort of trivialized him as a character because the whole, like, yeah, he swings people and he got 42, yay, but like or 43, excuse me, he got 43, whatever. But
And he seems
it's
like
he just seems like he's trivialized as a character. Like when Gandalf says in the woods, he's like, you're dangerous too, Gimli, son of Glóin. Like you don't get the sense that Gimli's like super, like a deadly dangerous dwarf, which he actually is.
No, I mean you don't even like when he's scared to go in like Paths of the Dead, for example, which is accurate to the books, but the problem is that we hadn't really seen him be too heroic before then. And so he's like just the comic relief without being a hero, and you never, whenever you think of Gimli from the films, you never, at least I don't ever think hero.
I'd,
I, and so I think that that's kind of a mistake. I wish I thought hero because he is this awesome, awesome dwarf, and he does have some great moments, but for whatever reason, it just doesn't come together quite right to make him feel like a real hero, I think.
Well, I mean, I've always been one to kind of embrace the various archetypes of hero type characters in these kind of movies where there's a team of people. And I think
Yeah.
that Gimli definitely fits that role of he's got a lighter heart to a degree. Like the hobbits, you wouldn't necessarily consider them heroes per se because they're small and whatnot, but each one of them has their own kind of role to play. And that's where Gimli comes across as hero in that aspect. He's one of the roles of the heroic party, so to speak.
Right, and I totally agree, and I think that, the movies were did a great job with Gimli for what they did. I just wish that he would have been a bit more of a hero, I guess, because I think they could have given a little bit more comic relief to the hobbits and kept him a little bit more of a hero, but I don't know. Semantics.
All right, let's head into the games. And Dang, since you've been painting the movies, what about the games? What did you love about how Gimli was represented there?
Well, man, that instance in, the early parts of the epic story is clearly the best part of the games. There's no question. It's amazing. Okay, sarcasm over. Um, I really like Gimli once we get to later areas. He's cool in Lothlorien. He has a lot of interesting things to say. And later on in Rohan, you really start to get a sense of who he is. I think that they could have done a bit better job. I mean, it's tough because they try to keep us at like not just arm's distance from the Fellowship, but like Rohan distance from the Fellowship. And so it's tough to kind of get to know them, but at least he still has some comic relief moments, but it's not as much in the films, and so I like the games a lot better just because of that, if nothing else.
All right, and Terry, your cons?
Um, I don't remember. I had some when I first signed this thingy, but I don't actually remember what they were.
Gimli's tough because in the games he is one of the more distant characters. He's kind of like,
Yeah, you really don't see him enough to have any cons. He's in the dwarf tutorial if you do it, and then he shows up in like what, two epic battles
and he's really
and
cool in
and a
the
couple of
tutorial.
spots. Yeah,
Hey,
he's actually he's kind of a whiny little pain in the butt in the dwarf tutorial.
Well, he's still like the
It's like,
prince
why
or,
do I have to
whatever.
stay behind?
Yeah.
I don't want to stay behind. I want to come with you guys.
But I think that that's accurate to what he would say, though. So,
all
Dwarven
right.
Princeling.
Anything else about Gimli on any other fronts?
He's short.
I love his beard. It's well braided. And
Very
his helmet
well.
too.
We currently have 18 supporters on Patreon. If you would like to join this illustrious raid of players and help support LOTRO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you will find rewards including a mention on the podcast of your choice or even be a guest host with us here on LOTRO Players News. And Andang, how far are we from the next goal?
well, it's a bit complicated this week, Pineleaf, because their Patreon this a couple days ago changed how they calculate basically patron support.
What?
And so now, like, it's still the same amount that people are supporting, but it factors out the 5% they take, and if anyone had, like, outdated payment method or something like that for that previous month. Um, so we'll see. Basically, they said they're going to try this out for a week, and so after this next week, we'll see where things are, and I'll adjust the goals accordingly. So I'm not going to say how far we are this week because it could be totally different by the time people actually look because of the changes that Patreon's making. But
So basically, if you want to know how far we are, you go to patreon.com/players alliance, the Players Alliance, and then you can know.
Then you'll
Yeah.
know.
And while you're there, you might as well, support us because that'd be cool. It helps support the network.
All right, we did not receive any reviews this week, but we do have a featured comment from the Dwaro Scholar, who left a comment on where are you looking forward to towards the end of Lotro, and he replied, Erebor and the Battle of Dale. And I don't mean an instance like the one we have now. There is so much we can do with that. Just imagine thousands of Easterlings storming Erebor and you fighting alongside of Dane. The amount of quests they could come up with in the lead up for that would merit a full region. Erebor, Dale, Long Lake, Northern Mirkwood. I for one would gladly play and pay for such a region, and for once I will not object to running all over the place to help out with silly errands.
Yeah, I would like to point out he says region, not zone. So like all those subzones. That would be really cool to see basically an entire like Lord of the Rings time period Hobbit themed update because there's a lot of stuff that goes on over there during the time of the Lord of
Yeah.
the Rings.
And with the Northern
Right,
Workwood
and
Zone, you can include
since it's
Thranduil's Halls
contemporaneous
and
what
everything
we're
else too.
Yeah.
with what we're doing now, obviously it would not fit very well in the existing timeline.
Right, but I mean they
So,
could add it in. I mean, I would like to see them expand areas and just create like extra zones you can do at certain level ranges. Kind of like what they're doing with the Bingo Boffin quests where they're going through these different areas and just all of a sudden there's these quests that are added that you can do instead of some other quests. And so I would like to see them kind of just add a bunch of places throughout Middle-earth once they get done with the current storyline.
It'd be nice to have a place that was an alternate to the level 50 to 60 range.
Especially there. And this would be about there, honestly, if you put this before and then go to Mirkwood after that. But that might mess with the timeline because I think Southern Mirkwood's where it happens first. So. But yeah, it would be cool to see somewhere else other than Moria.
all right,
You can make
if you would
work.
like to.
I was going to say you can make it work Northern Mirkwood because you could make it part of, they have, um, I mean, be sending patrols down to Southern Mirkwood or whatever. You could make it work.
Yeah, that would work.
Sending people
The
from
problem
North.
is that the Battle of Dale is not till much later. So.
Yeah.
If you would like to email us, you could send a mail to podcast@lotraplayers.com. You could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, Lotro Players @LotroPlayers, Andang @PVMP_Andang, Arathert @Arathert, Carvet @CarvetLP, Maven @TokenMaven, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and Terry Adwin @Terry Adwin. The Players Alliance has several live shows. On Mondays at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. And on every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. US Eastern Time, we have Lotro Players News. And every other Saturday after Lotro Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You can join us for live shows at lotraplayers.com/live. Thank you everyone for listening. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to skirmish responsibly.